Hola, I am Maria Antonieta Cordero. I am Venezuelan. I am 21 years old and currently living in Medellín, Colombia. Yes, the conditions are really bad right now in my country. I noticed when I was at the university in 2016 in Caracas, when I was going to shopping in the supermarket and there's no bread, no meat, no chicken, and all the basic stuff were missing in the supermarkets and in the bread stores. Huge lines in the capital of Venezuela. The students in my university, I studied in Universidad Central de Venezuela, and I start to notice how people start to leave the country and or to quit the university because all the prices were increasing to pay the residence or the food, all the transportation. Everything was getting harder and harder, so my classmates were leaving the country or just leaving back to their hometown. Also, the students leaders were calling to protest a lot, so the students from university were in the streets of Caracas protesting a lot against the government. A lot of students died. My teachers start to leaving also, and little by little I start to see my university campus empty, and if it gets empty, it starts to get more and more dangerous for us because of the insecurity in Caracas. Okay, and my family starts to get affected because of the food shortage. They invest a lot of time in the huge lines when some basic product arrive to the store. You have to do a huge line according to your number of ID, so that day you can buy the food. For example, my last ID number is number 1, so I only could go to the supermarket to buy the basic products the Monday. If I go Monday and there's no food arrived, so I just got nothing, and so I had to wait to the other week, to the other Monday, to see if something arrived to the market, and then I could buy it.
So you were only allowed to go to the store once a week?
Once a week.
And if they didn't have what you needed, you had to wait another week?
Another week. That's how the government organized us. They put us that restriction. Okay, then with the food shortage, also came the electricity rationing, yes, and like 2 or 4 hours per day. One day yes, one day no. The horaries, they publish the horaries in the newspaper, so the people can know when the electricity is going to shut down. But sometimes they don't do any advice. They don't tell.
Just all at once?
Just the electricity shuts down. And so I knew it. At that time I was a teenager, so when I visit my friends at their home, my family called me like, hey, it's going to be 6 p.m. and the electricity goes at that time. So come home because before of the electricity goes. Later in the capital, Caracas, the last year, like 2018, the electricity goes down, so affect all the transportation, like the subway, all the traffic lights, especially the subway. The subway is very important for all the citizens in the capital. So it's a collapse total. Yes, I decided to leave the country when the hyperinflation consumes all the salary of my family, and like the salary of them was nothing, and I had to be in Caracas paying residence, and all the food in Venezuela is like luxury because it's really expensive, and according to the salary. So my mom is an elementary school teacher, and at the moment she was earning like only $6 per month, and my rent a month being a teacher in a public school. So and my residence in Caracas was $4 per month, so it didn't match with the salary. So my mom is single mother, so all my family always help me. My grandmother has a coffee farm. My uncle is seller of natural medicines, and all the private companies were really affected because of the hyperinflation and the importations to Venezuela gets low a lot. So it was very hard for everybody, for all the sellers, all the farm workers, the professionals. So I decided, like, okay, it's moment to leave the country. So I left to Lima, Peru, and I was working there, and I am allowed to help my mom sending her money every 2 weeks. In Venezuela doesn't exist Western Union because we don't have access to dollars. And what I do is I pay to an intermediary here in Medellín in pesos in the bank, and then he transfer the money in bolívares to my mom bank account in Venezuela. Okay, I was starting to want to leave the country in 2016 because it was so frustrating at that moment to have the money. Well, then you go to the supermarket and there's nothing to buy. So I was starting to think in my possibilities, which possibilities I have outside and everything. But when I put a date to my trip was in June 26th of 2018 that I took an airplane from Maiquetía, the international airport in Caracas, to El Dorado, Bogota, and then a flight to the airport in Lima.
How did your family feel about you leaving?
They feel very sad and very upset because I quit to the university, and after 3 years of studying, so they didn't feel happy or
What were you
nothing.
studying in the university?
I was studying civil engineering.
Civil engineering?
Civil engineering.
Wow.
But I didn't wanted to they go with me to the airport because I know it was going to be harder for everybody.
Very emotional. A lot of tears.
Sí. Okay, when I arrived there, I had an aunt waiting for me. She's the sister of my mother, and she received me in the airport. And I stayed with her like 3 nights after I found a place. And I was searching jobs in different places in Lima, and without any luck, because I had, when I gave them my resume, no experience in working, just a college girl, and so it was very hard for me to find a job. And when I found a job in a restaurant, it's very hard change of life. I spend the whole day from the morning until night, sometimes until midnight, cleaning bathrooms, and doing waitress job. Yes, a few. I met nice people, and I had a very nice neighbor. I was alone in Christmas time, so he invited me to spend Christmas with all his family, and I had so I didn't spend Christmas alone. Okay, I started tutoring Spanish when I was in Caracas. I was trying to think in a way to earn USA dollars, and I find out like, well, I can teach Spanish online, and the people will transfer money with intermediaries. So, and I will receive it in the price of black market in bolívares. I had my first student from Germany, and he bought me a lot of lessons. And then I moved to Lima, and I tried to do the same. But in Lima, the community of expats is not significant. It's not big. It's very small. And so I had few students in Lima, but also continuing tutoring online. So I have more than 1 year tutoring Spanish. I decided to come to Medellín because I see here the opportunities can be better because of my work than in Lima. Here the community of expats is very big, and that allows me to have too much work here. And also because of the location, it's very close to my country, so just in case of an emergency or something, I can go easily by bus to Venezuela, to the border, and mostly because of that. I talk with my family every day
Awesome.
through WhatsApp. Just the day that the electricity shuts down for like 5 days, I couldn't communicate with my mom during 4 days, and I was so stressed, freaking out. But right now, all goes back to the normal, and I can talk with her every day.
Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
No, you will edit very good.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
How long have you been in Medellín?
3 months,
3 months.
almost.
I've enjoyed your classes. They have helped me a lot.
Gracias. I'm happy. That's the goal.
I've been telling everybody I run into that needs Spanish here in Medellín, I've been giving them your phone number.
Thank you. Well, you send me Jessica.
Uh-huh.
That's good. Jessica is very sweet.